Are you searching up SKATER XL versus Session, trying to figure out which one is better to buy? Are you a console player who wants to get the most bang for your buck when you know you don't have access to mods? Are you a passionate member of the fake skate community who likes to keep up on the SKATER XL versus Session rivalry? If you answered yes to any of these questions, this video is definitely for you. SKATER XL versus Session, which one should you buy? Which one is worth the money? Let's go! Alright gang, welcome back to another video. This is SKATER XL versus Session. Which one should you buy? This is an in-depth comparison video. I'm going to do my best to be very thorough and go through different categories for both games. Actually, I've already done this before, back when SKATER XL was in beta, and that video is still my most popular video to date. If you guys want to check that video out and see how things have changed after you watch this one, I'll put a card up here for that. In that old video, I took a look at SKATER XL first. So in this video, I'm going to put Session up front. And I do want to say before we get into this, guys, that I love both SKATER XL and Session. I just love skateboarding. But I do understand being limited on the money and trying to make the best, get the most bang for your buck. So I'm hoping that this video will serve as a resource, especially to console gamers who don't have access to mods like PC do. They have to determine which vanilla experience of the game is most bang for the buck. So in this video, I'm going to be comparing vanilla Session versus vanilla SKATER XL.
Now you say. Now you really wanna know. Oh no. We are the champion of the music. Come on and share it now. Give us the feeling, oh God. Oh Lord.
Session is still in development and is not a fully finished released game, so glitches and bugs are to be expected and, in my case, thoroughly enjoyed. Alright gang, welcome to Session. This is my second time doing this, so let's hope it goes better this time. Session just basically had a huge update. The first category that we're going to go over is the 0008 overview, and yes, now we're on the 0009 build, but that hotfix was just for some textures, no really major gameplay changes. The first thing they added was board physics. If I flick the board in different ways, I can rock it, the ollies out, I can do kick flips that look different depending on which way I flick them, how I tweak the sticks. So the board physics are now responding to your inputs on the dual stick controls, which is really cool. My second point on the overview, and this one is a big home run for Session over SKATER XL, the stats menu. So you can hold start and go in here and you can basically tweak every game variable to your liking. Everything from the gravity, push force, the push speed, all the way down to the sprint. Be running like If you go down to experimental, go under here, they added Casper's, Primo's, grind settings, they added dark slides. Do a little quarter flip, land Primo. As you can see, my controller in the bottom left there, you can see how I'm doing the tricks and everything, how I'm catching Primo. You can also catch Casper with the new update. Dark slides. Let's see if we can hit a dark slide on here. Oh, that was sick. They also added lots of minuscule things that really add up to a more realistic skateboarding simulator experience. These things are wear and tear on the board, truck tightness, and wheel bite that all affect the physics of the game and how it plays. Go in here to options, gameplay, and board settings. You have your truck tightness in here. You got wheel bite that you can enable and wear and tear. The wear and tear is spot focus, so if you do a bunch of dark slides, your grip tape is going to get really scuffed. And you can also turn off the truck sync, have a very tight front truck and a very loose back truck. It's all up to you. It's all personal preference. They also added a new map. Philadelphia is in the map now, so we've got the Love Gap, nasty handrail. Dane Berman did that 50-50 on. And they also added in a map extension to the Pyramid Ledges map. We'll be going there later for our comparison tricks to film those. The No Comply Skate Shop. You can go in here and spend your cash that you earn from the challenges and quests and unlock all kinds of new gear. There's also a quest line with Donovan Strain and a quest line with Ribsman to unlock the gear. And if you don't want to do either of those, you can hit start, go to experimental, come down here to give me all my stuff back, and you can just do that if you just want to play. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 custom slots where you can customize your skater. They added Daewon Song and JL Nightmare in this new update. Dane Berman in the game, Donovan Strain, and Ribsman, as well as JL Nightmare, the man himself, and Prison Dude. Other pros that have signed on are Manny Santiago, Anti-Ferg, Mark Appleyard, and Billy Marks. But honestly, the customization is pretty limited. Session does have a lot of IRL skate brands in here, so following ES, Heroin, Jinkum, Roger Skate Co., Schwatty Skate Co., No Comply, ESP, Flatface, Samurai Punk, Zero. There's a bunch of stuff in here. One thing that's cool is they actually have different size boards, different shape boards, whereas in Skater XL you just kind of have that popsicle deck and there's no way to customize it. They also have risers in here, different trucks, and different wheel sizes, so you can kind of just go crazy and customize it however you want. I'm sure they'll be dropping more gear in the future. Now I want to point out real quick that everything you see in my game on PC, Xbox has too. Session is not available on PlayStation right now because Sony doesn't have a early access program. PlayStation will probably have to wait until a 1.0 unless something changes. But looking at the settings, we're going to come in here, go to options and gameplay, and there's all kinds of stuff. There's easy, assisted, legacy, which makes it like the Skate franchise flick it controls, and there's hardcore. By default, the game does front back foot, but coming from Skater XL, left right foot feels more natural to me. Body rotation mode, there's different modes here. I prefer manual mode because again it's the most like Skater XL. A big plus for Session is that you can control whether you want the game to auto catch your tricks, whether you have to push the stick down to catch the board or up to catch the board when the grip tape is facing up to actually land the trick. And here they got the grind settings. They've got a casual grinds mode because grinds are honestly pretty tough in Session. The biggest difference from Skater XL to Session is the grinds. They've got casual grinds, they've got auto grinds, lots of stuff to help you out with that. They've got their revert settings in here, and then of course advanced settings is the stats menu that we went over. So overall, you know, Session's controls kind of have a steeper learning curve, but it's really rewarding when you do stuff and you finally get it down. It offers way more control over the game variables and how the game plays than Skater XL does, especially for console players. I give points to in the controls section to Session all day long. So there's just way more tricks in Session than there is in Skater XL. They've got all the standard tricks, you know, nollie, fakie, switch, and regular. So you can turn on late tricks like late shoves, late flips, and quick shove it's now. You can just scoop and he'll do a shove it. Session also has pressure flips. There's also the freestyle tricks that they just added in the new update. The Primo catch, the Casper slide. Oh, just like that. Alright, there was a grab. And the transition skating really isn't in Session yet either. So if you're a transition skater and that's really important to you, Skater XL definitely has the edge in that department. So we get into a manual, and he actually looks like he's balancing, you know, it just looks more realistic. So points to Session on the manuals, I think they got those better. The grinds in Session, they're pretty tough, but once you get the hang of them, they're not too bad. The big difference with the grinds is that in Session, you only hit one stick to input the grind. Whereas in Skater XL, usually you're doing a little trigger and manipulating both sticks. But I think the future's promising. I think Creature Studios is listening to the community and that they're going to do right by them and deliver the best game that they can. Alright guys, now we're going to take a look at the maps and then I'll meet you over at Pyramid Ledges to get our comparison lines. Because at the end of the video, we're going to compare 3 tricks in Session and the same 3 tricks in Skater XL side by side. And you can see for yourself which one you think looks better. Alright, the first one here that we're going to try to get is a tray flip and then kick flip back tail. Let's do it over here. We'll tray flip down that set and then kick flip back tail on the ledge, alright? Come on, baby! Tray flip, kick flip back tail. That's the one right there. So the replay editor in Session is kind of a complex thing. It's got a pretty steep learning curve to it, but essentially if you go into the edit montage, there's different key types like camera position key, playback speed key, and field of view key. I will say about the replay editor that it is very glitchy, but Creature Studios is well aware of this. They've acknowledged it and they plan to patch this in the very next update. So we already got the tray flip, kick flip, back tail. So while we're checking out the replay editor, let's get the next one. Switch 180 nose grind, nollie flip out to fake. I think I'm just going to stick on the pyramid ledges for all three of these because there's some good ledge maps in SKATER XL that we can recreate them in. Now that we got our clip, we've got one more trick that we're going to do. So if we want to be able to get another clip at pyramid ledges, we're going to have to go back to the apartment and reset it. That's the last trick. It's a big spin down this little set here and then a switch tray onto the planter. We're going to try to hit a 50-50. Can you guys help me out and help me land it by hitting the like and subscribe button right now? We're almost to 1,000 subs. Yes! Because you liked and subscribed. Let's just run around Philly for a minute, see if we get immersed. So in the big SKATER XL Session debate, a point a lot of Session people make is that the graphics in Session, even as an alpha game, look more realistic than SKATER XL. This Philly map looks really good. The scale, like those buildings just look huge. It makes you feel tiny in this big city. But in the New York maps, they do boast that it is a one-to-one recreation of real-world spots. You know, when you combine that with the attention to detail, like the truck tightness and the wheel bite and stuff that they're putting into the game, you can tell they're really focusing on the minuscule things that make it more realistic. So honestly, Session feels more stiff than SKATER XL. It's not as fluid of an experience, but that doesn't mean it's not fun and that it's not immersive. The physics update took a major leap forward. All the customization that they put in, from the stats menu to all the settings, from the flip tricks, grinds, reverts, all that good stuff. In addition to the freestyle tricks, it just feels like you have so much power, so much control at your fingertips, and that's really nice. The vanilla gravity in Session is pretty much perfect. But if you don't like it, you can always tweak it with the stats menu. That is a huge plus that Session has over SKATER XL. So bottom line, console players, you're going to have way more control over the game with Session than you will with SKATER XL. Also, Session is $20, which is half the price of SKATER XL. So in my opinion, yeah, Session is worth the buy. And you know the price is only going to go up when it comes to a 1.0 release. So why not support it now for $20? That's going to wrap it up for the Session portion. Let's head over to SKATER XL and we're going to give it the breakdown too. So, SKATER XL. I've talked about what I really like about SKATER XL in other videos. I'll put a card up here to one video where I was having my thoughts on the game's current state and what I'd like to see in the future from it if you want to get more in depth. Let's just go over some differences of SKATER XL from Session. There is no stats menu in console SKATER XL, which one of the big gripes of most people is this moon pop. Look at this thing.
Wrong.
You can't tweak the gravity like you can in Session and tame that pop. SKATER XL does have challenges built in on each map based on different tricks. I think to keep it flipping, you just gotta keep holding the stick to the right. Yeah. There we go. These are like the nature of the challenges. It very much holds your hand, and it's more like a teaching tool, whereas the challenges in Session are like, this is a map with some historical spots on it. What are the famous spots, and what should I go try to get the cash? Session kind of edges it out for me in the challenges department. But aside from the challenges in SKATER XL, there is no quests or anything like that. No NPCs or anything yet. It is a true blue skateboarding simulator. There's also no day or night cycle in SKATER XL. So, some of the playable characters in SKATER XL are Evan Smith, Tom Asta, Brandon Westgate, and Tiago Lemos. You also get 2 customizable skaters here. This is my guy here, rocking the corpse husband fit right here. Shout out to Kaiza, Wait Impossible on Twitter. The game features all kinds of IRL brands. Everything from Bones, Etnies, Grizzly, Dickies, Element, DC, Kariuma, and a lot more. They definitely have more brands than Session. And that's another thing I want to point out. It's a big plus for SKATER XL is that there's a huge fake skate community behind SKATER XL. Tons of like fake brands that just make gear mods for SKATER XL. But with the fake skate gear, you can go head to toe, customized, and nose to tail on the board too. So you're skating around, you're like, I want some new gear. You hit the start button, come down to mod browser, and this is what I'm talking about with the fake skate brand. You can get tattoos, skins, and this is available on console too for PlayStation and Xbox people as well. There used to be a lot more mods on the mod.io. Due to the fake skate boycott, a lot of fake skate brands have pulled their mods from mod.io. So if you want to know more about that whole drama, I did a video on that. I'll put a card for it up here. But yeah, that's the mod browser. You can download custom maps. You can download fake gear. Mods on console. Right on. So what do I have to say about the controls on SKATER XL? Yeet. Controls on SKATER XL feel a lot more responsive. They are more fluid. One of the big differences is in Session, you have to totally steer with the triggers. In SKATER XL, so say I'm wanting to get speed. Okay, I carve pretty hard with the trigger here. But then I want to fine tune it up so I can hit this bench. Boom. So that is nice. I would like to see Session move to being able to fine tune with the sticks in the future. So in SKATER XL, there is transition skating. You can pump by pushing up, as you can see here, pumping.
I'm Hans. And I'm Franz. And we want to pump you up.
You know, SKATER XL has all the standard tricks. They don't have any of the freestyle tricks like Session has, but they do have more grab tricks. So that's part of the reason why I came here. I wanted to show off some of the grabs. Let's hit something over this. Ooh. You can use the stick to tweak it out more. There's a big one. Oh. Landed crooked and died. The controls for grinds in SKATER XL are a little more intricate than in Session. In this one, you got to do a combination of both sticks and triggers sometimes to get it how you want it. You can get into, let's say I get into a nose grind, I want to bump out to the left. I can push in the left stick and bump out that way, or I can push in the right stick and bump out to the right. Another way to do it is to tap the trigger, and then you can pop out to the side you tap the trigger on. The trick animations in SKATER XL just look more smooth. All right, let's see this kickflip. I'll show you something too. If I hold the sticks out when I do the kickflip, you can steeze your legs out. So if I really flick it out to the side, you can actually steeze your legs out in the air. Add more style to your tricks. Whereas Session kind of has that now with the board physics, but the character animations aren't there yet. instead of the front shove out. I'm still gonna take that though. 180 switch nose grind, nollie flip to fakie. I want to make it look as realistic as I can. Yeah, that was it. Big spin, switch tray to 50-50. Oh, there it was. That was clean, bro. You can toggle this overlay on by pressing in the right stick. All the button combinations there. These are universal keyframes. So this is a big difference between Session and Skater XL. There's only one keyframe for everything. And one thing that I want to point out about Skater XL's replay editor is you can actually put in your own speed ramps just by using the triggers. I'm just going to tap the trigger a little bit right when he pops. It's a cool little feature. So for the graphics section, the vanilla graphics are pretty good. The game does not look bad. Session maybe looks a little more realistic. This guy looks a little more cartoony. Session just has like a grit to it. I don't know if it's like the New York City, like East Coast vibe that it has, whereas this game has more of like a West Coast California type vibe to me. My point with the graphics is it looks and feels good enough to be a fun, immersive skateboarding game. And once you start customizing your character, it's easy to get lost for hours trying lines in Skater XL. Maybe Session wins out in the graphics, but they're not anything to sneeze at either. They're pretty good. There's no multiplayer on Skater XL right now. The devs have been tight-lipped about it. They don't really say whether they're going to do it or not. If you play on PC, there is a multiplayer mod. It's kind of glitchy. It's not the best, but it works. I said that Easy Day was being tight-lipped about their future plan. That's another spot where Session has one up on them. Easy Day is not really being transparent and giving us things to be excited for, whereas Creature Studios is giving us stuff to talk about. Skater XL feels better than Session, I think. It's just a little more fluid. The immersion of a realistic skateboarding game is kind of broken when you jump this high. For console players specifically, in Skater XL, you'll have more control over your aesthetic, and you'll have more content as far as maps via the mod browser. Now, a point I'm going to have to give to Skater XL is that they currently have a PlayStation 4 version, so they're just available on more consoles. They did say in their Q&A that they have a Nintendo Switch version planned, but there's no date on that yet. You know, I still see a huge potential for Skater XL down the line here. So Skater XL is $40. That's twice as much as Session for basically no control over the gameplay. You're stuck with the physics, but you do get more maps, more customization. There's more content in that regard on Skater XL. And it's a finished game. You know, the replay editor works. Skater XL has transition skating. So I would say that this game is definitely worth it. If you want a true simulator experience, honestly, I recommend getting them both and supporting skateboarding games in general. I want as many skateboarding games as I can play because I have fun playing skateboarding games. Alright gang, now with that final demonstration out of the way, I hope that you have in mind that you're going to buy both skateboarding games, that you're going to support skateboarding games in general, so we can have more of them, so we can see them both keep going neck and neck with the rivalry and pushing each other to get better. That's going to do it for the video, gang. If you enjoyed it, if you liked it, please hit the thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let's talk about it. Which game do you think is better? What direction do you want to see Skater XL or Session go in? Let's have a big old talk about it because I use the comment section to help me come up with ideas for videos. So leave it down below. And if you like the content, consider subscribing to my channel. I post videos every week on Skater XL, Session. I also cover other indie video games in that same genre of extreme sports. So if you're into that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button, join the gang. We're almost to 1,000 subs, and I've got a little challenge planned, a challenge video for the 1,000 sub video. My name is Seth, aka Nubical. You already know what it is. Bye.